May I proceed, Honourable Chair? Thank you. Thank you. General, just for purposes of clarification, I'm referring to these WhatsApp messages on page 20 of the core bundle, which is the affidavit of Kuneni in the search and seizure application. The WhatsApps are extracted or retrieved from Matlala's device, but the messages are from Mogotsi. Did you understand it also in that way?
I do, Chair.
Okay. So it's Mogotsi who writes and disappears from Matlala's device. I have arranged a meeting for Sibiya and the minister. They must have a solution. He's telling Matlala, and in a further message from Mogotsi, the task team came to your house and harassed you have been dissolved. They got the letter on Monday. As we speak, they're bringing all the dockets. So that is Mogotsi to Matlala. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Is that how you also understood it?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, can I proceed to Chair? Because I was still responding, if I remember.
Okay. Just coming to the directive of the 31st of December. You said that there was you received it. When did you first receive it?
I received it on the 3rd of January. I received an email from the Office of the National Commissioner.
And you deal with the Minister's Directive?
Yes.
On page 10 of your statement, under the heading Minister's Directive dated 31 December 2024, from paragraph 25 onwards. And then at 27, look at paragraph 27.
Paragraph 27.
Yeah, that's where we talk about receiving an email from the office of by Brigadier Letoko, and that email is at page 54, SB3.
If I were to start at paragraph 27, it reads thus. On the 3rd of January 2025, an email was addressed to my office by Brigadier Letoko from the Office of the National Commissioner, which directed me, the Deputy National Commissioner for Crime Detection, to communicate the deactivation of the PKTT to the relevant team. My office was further requested to submit a close-up report on 14 January 2025 for National Commissioner's consideration and sign off to the Minister. And I'm quite sure, Chair and Honourable Members, that the National Commissioner said that he did give such an instruction that on the 14th of January, it is when this close-up report he must get.
So this is at SB3. It's from Brigadier Letoko, dated Friday the 3rd of January, and it's sent to you, and it says Office of DNC Crime Detection.
Yes.
The subject matter, as directed, DNC, the Deputy National, we requested according to communicate the deactivation of the relevant team. Your office is requested to submit a close-up report to be submitted on 14 January for NatCom's consideration and sign-off to the Minister.
That's correct.
Now, this is notwithstanding the fact that the directive itself, which is at SB2, on pages 52 and 53, that is addressed to the National Commissioner himself,
That is correct.
and it's not addressed to you.
Yes, I never received this type of a document at all, and it went to the National Commissioner's office. Now, if the National Commissioner had a problem with this type of instruction, it is the type of instruction that was not ever supposed to have gone further down, to be disseminated to further for implementation. If I was the National Commissioner and then I received this type of document that I do not agree with.
No, but the National Commissioner is on leave. He's on leave. He took leave just before the end of the year. There was a Police Day event on the 28th. I don't know if you were there in KZN. Lieutenant General Kunazi was there. The Minister was there. Never mentioned anything about the disestablishment of the political task team. Then the National Commissioner goes on leave from the end of December to the 14th of January. So he's not in the office.
To start with, Chair and honorable members, when you are a National Commissioner of the South African Police Services, you remain the National Commissioner of the South African Police Service, even if you are on leave. Whatever that happens in the country is still on your shoulders. You're still accountable, even if you are on leave. Whatever that happens, you will make a call or a call will reach you. We all know that if there comes something that needs where you need advice, you will pick up a call and call the National Commissioner and we will advise you, being on leave. Even if it's overseas, he knows he's still the National Commissioner of the Police.
No, but you've got an acting national.
It's fine. As the acting National Commissioner, I will call the National Commissioner and say, NASCOM, I'm confronted with 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you suggest how I should deal with it? You will say, no, I suggest that you do. It happens all the time. You will say, no, I suggest that you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's not easy to just say, no, I was on leave, I'll see it when you come back. The country won't stop. You remain the National Commissioner. Now, in this case, the acting National Commissioner is there. The one thing that is for sure is that the letter from the Office of the National Commissioner will never be disseminated further downwards unless there's consultation, whether with the acting National Commissioner or with the National Commissioner himself. If they did see that document, the National Commissioner said he became aware of that document on the 2nd of January. Even General Mkwana says he called him and then he asked him, he said he didn't know about it. It is not enough to say, I saw it, but I said, no, I'll see it when I come back. No, no, no. You are the National Commissioner of the Police of the country. You are confronted by a document that is addressed to you by the minister. I will take a call. I will call the minister and say, Minister, I received this document and I still think that we can engage on this document. Can I come back? Can I respond to this document when I come back? This is under normal circumstances, what must happen. So now, as far as I'm concerned, where I draw the line is the fact that here is an email, which is a directive from the office that I report to, that says do the following. In the same email, same breath, when you go to 55, page SB4, page 55, same email, you'll see below is the National Commissioner's office. On top is my response. I carry out the instruction as I receive it, and I don't change even one word. I say, DNC Crime Detection has directed that the trailing email be forwarded for your attention and the closing report be signed off by the 13th of January. National Commissioner wanted it on the 14th. I say, let me see it before on the 13th of January. This has got nothing to do with Brown. It has got nothing to do with Cat. It is simply what is being received by me from the Office of the National Commissioner. And I remember we're all coming back from leave. So now,
But Brown, it may have nothing to do with Brown or Kit.
Yes, I
According to
agree.
you, but we know, we agreed that. We know for a fact that they knew about it. They knew in this WhatsApp exchange on the 1st of January, they knew that the task team is going to be dissolved. They said so in their WhatsApp communication.
The talkers were that thing was in the media. It was in the media. Everybody read about it in the media.
On the 1st of January on New Year's Day.
I think from the 31st or the first day, but it was on the media, same day. It was leaked same day, same time. Now, can I proceed?
Yes, please.
Now, I then contacted the National Commission on NASCOM. I received this thing. And I'm going to approach General Rabi to assist me. So,
Honorable Nombalo.
Yes, Chair. I just want to be clear for my records. I don't understand the response that has been given by the General, that when he says the disbandment issue was already in the media. What does it mean? Does it mean it was in the media before the decision was taken or before the decision was communicated? What is the meaning of that? So that we can record properly.
The letter of the disbandment signed by the minister on the 31st of January somehow found itself in the media space, and it was widely circulated. So most of the people, including the DPP, KZN, and Provincial Commissioner KZN, they all say we saw it on the media. So it was widely, it was leaked somehow to the media. In my case, it was never sent to my office. You can see, you can follow all the email trails. We never received it. Now,
Have you responded to the?
I did, I think.
Okay. How to?
I see there's still follow-up question there.
Do you know?
Still a follow-up question.
Senior Counsel, there is a follow-up question from the Honorable.
Oh, sorry, apologies.
Yeah, no, Chair, still what I don't understand is, was it in the media before it was signed by the minister or after it was signed and before it was circulated? Can he be clear on that?
It was after it was signed and after it was sent to the National Commissioner's office.
Honorable Nombalo, are you satisfied?
No, I think I'm satisfied, Chairperson. He says it got to the media after it was sent to the National Commissioner's office. I think that is my understanding of what he is telling us.
It's like Honorable Ngola was also trying to help to give a better understanding. Honorable Ngola.
I clarified with Nombalo, that's why it's covered. No. No, Chair, just one thing which I think the SC, maybe you can come back to it at the end when about to finish. When you started with the communication from Mr. Brown Mohodzi to Mr. Ket Matala that says the team that harassed you in your house is dissolved on Monday, blah, blah, blah. I have arranged a meeting with Sibiya and the minister, blah, blah, blah. But you quickly skipped without the general. The general was trying to give his understanding of that. But I think the SC quickly skipped before the answer. But he may come back to it later. It's fine.
Your request is that the general respond to that statement. Okay. SC, did you get the point? Or General, did you hear what the honorable member is saying?
I heard what the honorable member said, Chair. I would prefer that maybe the SC should pose the question so that I can then respond directly to the question.
Okay. SC. The honorable members are saying that at the point when you were supposed to have allowed the general to respond, you quickly moved to the next question and did not afford him an opportunity to comment on the statement regarding the alleged WhatsApp text, which on page 20, which it is alleged that they form part of a conversation between Mr. Mkhotsi and Mr. Matala.
Well, I thought we had passed when I clarified that the text, although it was found on Matlala's phone, extracted from his phone, that the text actually came from Mkhotsi, who made.
What they are saying, they want to hear the comment of the general on that statement.
Well, I got the impression he agreed, because I clarified it. I may have been mistaken or confused him, and now I'm clarifying it, and he agreed with the clarification.
Okay, let's hear what Honorable Ngola's point is.
Chair, I think the SC is not understanding what we're trying to say. He himself started with the text, alleged text, that is part of the bundles. The text, besides the fact that it's a communication between Mr. Brown Mkhotsi and Kat Matlala, but it makes mention of a role that is supposed to be played by the Deputy National Commissioner of Police, because it says, I have arranged with the minister and Sibiya. And our understanding is that the Sibiya that they are talking about, unless the general is going to clarify it, is the Deputy National Commissioner of the South African Police. So before the general could comment on that text or alleged text, the SC skipped to another aspect. So if we can allow, amidst him leading evidence, if we can allow the General Sibiya to also make an input on that. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, I responded by saying that I think this was a communication between two people that spoke about our names. And at this point in time, Chair, one cannot really accept responsibility of two people talking somewhere and adding our names when we are not sure and even part thereof. And in an attempt to try and demonstrate that we had nothing to do with this whole thing, I'm bringing in all the correspondence that shows that this instruction, if we were acting on an instruction or advice or request, or maybe as indicated by Brown Mkhotsi to Kat, the whole arrangement would have been started by me. I would have been the one to write, and then the House would have been perfectly allowed to say, but on what basis did you write this? Because we see this email, this communication between Brown and Kat, and we see now you wrote this letter, you are disbanding. Who gave you this permission? But that is not the case. Unless this whole thing, anyone who wants to say, I know, the minister knows, then the National Commissioner knows, because this communication is also from him. I'm saying, me, what I responded to is that what come from the National Commissioner. That what forced the National Commissioner to write that email to me is that what gave me an instruction to start implementing. Above all, let us look at the email that the National Commissioner says, I spoke to General Rabi to help him. And who is General Rabi? It's in the National Commissioner's office. and we can go to that email. But listen to this before we go to that email, the document that was crafted from the National Commissioner's Office. My staff officer say, I write to my staff officer and say, please call me at your earliest convenience to discuss the above directive from the National Commissioner's Office. Now, she says to me, that's my staff officer now, 7 January. She says, General, I've confirmed with Brigadier Lotoko that she dealt with the HR matters separately, and ours is just to facilitate the closing report to minister's signature. I have sent it to the DIVCOM office with due date for the 13th of January. 13th of January. Now, this is my staff officer. This date of the 13th of January is given by my staff officer. These are staff officers working. I accept the responsibility of what she wrote, but I'm just indicating, Chair, that this is the date she gave and said the National Commissioner want this by the 14th. So you see, I bring this thing on the 13th so that the DNC can have a look at it. That's what happened. Now, we then go to, I want us to go to the letter that was written then. I don't want to run ahead of myself, Council, but I wanted to then refer to SB 6, which is page 59 and 60. Now, General Rabi, having been directed by the National Commissioner to assist me, I also spoke to General Rabi, by the way, and the National Commissioner also said he asked General Rabi to assist me. Now, General Rabi produced a document. This document is at page 16. It's written, Deactivation and Disbandment of the National Task Team on Political Killings. This is a very important document that I think needs to be read into the record, Chair. I don't know, but it's quite a lengthy document. It's 4 pages.
That's the one of the 17. That's the first one.
Senior Counsel.
Yeah, that was on the 17th of January.
Yes.
This is after. Now let I just can I just do this, Chair, Honorable Chair? Are we over these WhatsApps now? Because I thought much earlier I clarified this with the witness. I discussed the content with him. We agreed. Matlala's phone was handed in voluntarily. This is downloaded from his phone. But of course, he can't be held responsible for the messages. They put it there, and his evidence is that if they put it there, he can't account for it. So when they talk about a minister meeting between him and the minister, and they talk about the closing down of the unit, and that the dockets are going to come to Sibiya, he said, well, if that's what the messenger said, you can't account. I thought we did this.
You see, the message says, as we speak, the dockets are on their way to General Sibiya, and that was January. Yeah. The dockets were only brought to the office of the DIVCOM on the 28th. The handing over was done on the 28th of March. So which means what is contained in the SMS is not right.
Well, it may not be right, or it's not accurate, because it's not. They say the dockets are on the way to Sibiya as we speak, and that's on the 1st of January.
In my case, I wanted to systematically go with this thing because here is an instruction, a letter that is written, instruction received from the National Commissioner. General Rabi put a deactivation plan in paper that talks about how to do this deactivation, and finally writing out the closing report, all the exercises that must happen here. It explained everything leading to the Office of General Masemola bringing me the final document that I must now finally sign. And then, and it's also still referred to my office by the Office of the National Commissioner. The same letter that was done by General Rabi, it was sent to the Office of the National Commissioner, not to me, from Rabi, as directed by the National Commissioner, to Masemola, who's the office manager in the Office of the National Commissioner. Then Masemola take it to my PA and say, print and give to the general to sign. So the National Commissioner says, I brought him a document that he did not like and he didn't sign. But that's a document that comes from the National Commissioner's office. I take it that if he didn't like it, should have called Rabi again and say, hey, I don't like this document. Why did you write 1, 2, 3, 4? Because it's not how I want it. Not to let it go further.
But can we just go back a bit to your statement? You said, and go to paragraph 30 on page 12, where you say that the NC was on leave at the time when I received the email on the 3rd of January. General Mosekile was appointed as the acting National Commissioner on 31 December 2024. I called Major General Rabi to assist me with the implementation plan. After having discussions with Major General Rabi, he confirmed that he would put an implementation plan together for my consideration. But you had already gone to the NC and he with this plan, and he then said no, he's not happy with it. That was I think on the 14th, 15th, and then you had to come back, which he still didn't accept.
It's the same document.
Yeah, but the point here is you said I first called Rabi with the implementation plan.
To assist me with the implementation plan.
So that is even before you went to the National Commission?
Yes.
So why didn't you speak to General Mosekile, who is now acting as National Commissioner?
Where is it stated?
On the 30th, paragraph 30, you say General Mosekile was appointed as acting National Commissioner on 31 December 2024. So when you received the email from Brigadier Letoko on the 3rd of February, why didn't you clarify this with General Mosekile? Instead, you go straight to Major General Rabi.
No. Remember that the email that comes from the National Commissioner's office, it comes from General Musiki, because she's acting as the national. Now, Brigadier Letoko would never send this document to me unless General Musiki said so. So it comes from the National Commissioner's office. Who was acting is General Musiki. Now, I can't call General Musiki and say, can I please speak to General Rabi? That is my implementation plan now. Once the email comes from there, it's for implementation. I was implementing. And that's what I did. And even the National Commissioner confirmed that he also spoke to Rabi, that Rabi must help me. Remember that when you talk about a disbandment, it's not a small thing. There is they call it Organization and Work Study, OD. organizational development. They conduct work study investigations. Whether you want to establish a police station or a branch, or whether you want to deactivate or whatever improvement you want to make in the police that requires a work study investigation. These are the people that are well trained to write such reports, and they will know what needs to be in that kind of a report. That is why we thought of immediately, let us speak to General Rabi because he will assist. And he said, no, I will help you, General. And he wrote it. After he wrote that disbandment plan, he sent it to General Masemola, the National Commissioner's Office again. It is the National Commissioner's Office again. Now, on the 16th, remember the National Commissioner we met on the 14th and 15th, and he said he didn't like it. But on the 17th, I get, is it the 16th? I get a document that come from General Masemola, attaching this document and say, we are just print and give the general to sign. We did that. The wording is exactly the same. I just had to change because the initial one that the National Commissioner didn't sign, he said, no, sign it, is operation. The general can sign it. He's a Deputy National Commissioner and this is operational anyway. And then it was sent through Office of General Masemola. Here is an email that sends this document to my office. And when you read this whole document, all the headings of what needs to happen in terms of deactivation, consultation with stakeholders, everything, you can see that it is adequate enough, detailed enough, even more than the one that was submitted by General Kumal, because General Kumal is not an expert in writing this type of reports. People like General Rabi are the ones who can write the report. It's their job.
Okay. Can I, for your comment, can I just read what?
May we take Honorable Skosana, Senior Counsel?
Thank you, Chair. Just for the record, Chair, that, I know the issue of ranks is confusing because when you go to page 12, whilst you were there, it says General Musikili. I'm not sure whether when the National Commission, when NASCOM goes on leave, a Lieutenant General becomes a General, or he remains a Lieutenant General acting as NASCOM.
The case.
Yes, perhaps, for capturing, is it correctly captured here? Like yourself, when you were acting, you are no longer a Lieutenant General, you become automatically a General.
No. There's only one General.
Yeah, hence I'm saying on records here, it says General Musikili, which for me is misleading. Because a Musikili is a Lieutenant General, it's not a General. Because you have Major General Rabi, you have Lieutenant General, and so what I'm trying to say to you, to the evidence reader as well, because this, as it captured here, it means at that time, Lieutenant General Musikili was now a general.
It's a mistake.
Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Cameron.
Okay, if I may, I don't know if it's my place, but just to give some clarity. If we speak to any general, whether it's a full general, lieutenant general, or a major general, we call that person general. When you speak to a lieutenant colonel, you sometimes say colonel. You don't necessarily say lieutenant colonel. So I don't think the intention was necessarily to mislead. It's the same if we call Advocate Arendse SC the whole time. SC is not a title. He's Advocate Arendse. So they're different ways. I don't think it was intentionally misleading. I just wanted to clarify that that we would say general, whether it's a major general, lieutenant general, or full general. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Mombalo.
No, Chair, we are satisfied with the response and with the acknowledgement that it was a mistake. So this appetite of wanting to repeat something that has been clarified, I don't know where it comes from. So we're fine with that response because he has clarified that it's a mistake. So Honorable Cameroon must not bring another confusion.
Let's accept the clarity from the senior counsel and the enrichment from Honorable Cameron.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
May we proceed?
And can I just read to you from General Masemola's affidavit at paragraph 117. He says, on 15 January 2025, Lieutenant General Sibiya came to my office and found me with Major General Sibola. He briefed me on the prepared plan/letter for the PKTT. He presented a plan/letter directed to Lieutenant General Kumalo, which letter he requested I sign. I did not sign the letter, plan, and told him I would prefer that if ultimately the PKTT was to be disbanded, in brackets he says, which I was against, close brackets, I did not want it to be abrupt, but rather be taken through the process of winding it down gradually. I told him to leave the matter with me, and I will continue with it myself and develop the report or plan that the minister required. Lieutenant General Sibiya was well aware that as National Commissioner, only I had the authority to sign off the letter he wanted me to sign. Notwithstanding this, he proceeded to issue the same letter under his own name on 17 January 2025, without even changing the due date, which was stated as 16 January 2025. This letter was issued under Lieutenant General Sibiya's name after Lieutenant General Kumalo and I briefed the minister on the 16th of January 2025 on Lieutenant General Sibiya's involvement and association with criminal syndicates. So if you just to round off that narrative on the 64, so that first letter he's referring to, you'll see at 64 of your bundle attached to your statement, there's no signature by the minister. By the National Commissioner. And then at 69, which deals with the same subject matter, you'll see the space for the National Commissioner is not there, but you sign it on the 17th of January 2025. So that's what that paragraph effectively says.
The chair, the council asked a question earlier, and I was prepared to answer that question. Then you proceeded, so let's go to this page and that page. But what I want to indicate is that let's go to page 59. Page 59, which is SB6, which is the Office of General Rabi, who sent the document to General Sibola on the 14th of January 2025 at 14:10. Then later again at 15:43, send the same document. In other words, because there's no any writing in between, in other words, he tells me that the document was sent either fix 1, 2, 3 or but it was sent again on 1543. Now on the 14th of January. Then it stays in General Sebola's office for 2 days. General Sebola's office is the National Commissioner. She discusses with the National Commissioner. And General Sibiya will never forward the document to me that the National Commissioner never approved. Then General Sibiya sent it to me on the 16th of January. On the 16th of January. This is the National Commissioner's office. Now, if the National Commissioner say I was with him in the presence of General Sibiya, and he indicated that he doesn't like the plan, why then forward it to me by General Sibiya again? Doesn't make sense. So, whatever document that I'm dealing with comes from the National Commissioner's office. And let me be consistent to what I'm saying. Let us look at the meeting of the 9th. The 9th of the 5th of March in Parliament. The National Commissioner was there, the Minister was there, everybody was there. General Masemola made his comment. General Kumalo spoke about the disbandment, and he spoke about the status of the current status, and I want to get to that point, Chair, because I've prepared on this one. Now, in Parliament, in short, because I do not spend time trying to look for a document that I can't find. In short, in Parliament, it says the political task team have achieved the purpose for which they have been established, and they can be used as a benchmark. All districts have stabilized except the eThekwini district. And he puts a map there that shows green, 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 green. And he also put a graph. He also put a graph that shows that this political killing task team, Chair, I want us to be able to see that, yeah, because we've got it. I don't know if I can assist that, Chair, to get to that document, see. Because of the problem that we're not going according to my statement, let me go there. It will indicate to me where is
when you are still looking, just hold it there.
Sorry, I was trying to
Senior
follow
Counsel.
your statement.
Senior Counsel,
Sorry.
there is a hand behind.
Thank you, Chair. I don't think that is proper for us to ignore page 61, to page 64. For the record, I want to find out if a letter is sent to anyone.
Point of order, Chairperson.
Because it says there's no signature here.
Honorable,
Are we accepting it?
Point of order, Chair.
Let's take the point of order here.
Chairperson, right at the beginning of this process, we agreed on how we would operate in the procedures. That during the time that the evidence leader is leading evidence of the witness, we would only ask questions for clarity. We are now discussing, debating, directing which pages must be left out and not left out. I think that's improper. I think the questions that the members should ask would just be clarity-seeking questions.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. I think it's misguided.
Honorable Skosan.
I wanted a clarity on this, that we accept it as it is. Exactly, I'm not debating here. Debate is tomorrow. I'm asking about if this document, is it accepted? Clarity from the
Honorable Skosan,
general.
if
Thank you.
Please listen to the Chair. The first point is that the point of order is sustained. And the second point is that If you may wish to put a question, may you please do so.
Let me repeat, Chair, I'm not putting a question. Just one clarity, that is this letter accepted without a signature? Because there's a signature of the National Commissioner which was supposed to be here, and a stamp like any other document here. So I wanted to ask from the General if they do accept as it is. It's not a debate. If you say yes, they accept that, we move on. Tomorrow we'll ask, we'll get into it. But for now, we don't have to. We don't have time for today. It's him who's presenting to us. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Sangon.
I'm not sure if we need to educate Honorable Skosana on a point of clarity, but I just want to remind him how you explained point of clarity. You said, we cannot hear you, General Sibiya. Please repeat the point. You don't engage on whether a letter that is signed or not signed, that you can leave for tomorrow, Honorable Skosana, where you want to understand. But here we are talking about matters that we can't hear. We want clarification on it, that type of thing. So please, Chair, can you protect us? Because I know that once it starts like this, it descends very fast. Thank you, Chairperson.
Honorable members, when the witness makes, or the witnesses make presentation, please take notes of the matters that you may want to raise. I remember it was on the first day when we were dealing with a witness here, I said to Honorable Sangoni that I was prepared to give her time the following day to field her questions. And given my proven benevolence, Honorable Skosana, you will still be allocated that time. If you were to request me tomorrow to say, I request extra 2 minutes to field the questions that I would have fielded yesterday, but our procedure did not allow us. I'm going to gracefully grant you that time tomorrow. For now, I think I'm persuaded and convinced that the matter you want to raise is a point of debate. And let's leave it as such, and then you will have your time tomorrow. The chair will remind you in case you forget it. Thank you so much. I don't know, do you still have any other question for clarity except the one that you have raised?
No, thank you, Chair. I don't have any question. I never had a question. I accept your thing, but it was not a question. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. May we, Senior Counsel, may we please proceed?
Again, Honorable Chair, I thought it was clarified with the confirmation of General Sibiya. SB 7 on page 60 deals with the deactivation and disbandment of the National Task Team. That SB 7 is not signed by the National Commissioner, and that is apparent from page 64, where you see a blank. And then SB 7.1 from page 65 to 69, which deals with the same subject matter. On page 69, there's no space for the National Commissioner to sign, but Lieutenant General Sibiya signs it on the 17th of January. So the point was that when he first took the letter to the National Commission, he said, no, I don't agree with it. That was on the 15th. Then on the 17th, the National Commissioner's signature is not on the letter, and Lieutenant General Sibiya signs the letter. And his evidence is that he's signing this on the authority of a directive or an instruction he got from the National Commissioner's office on the 3rd of January.
May I clarify that?
Is that fairly put?
Yeah, can I clarify that point? It is important to note that the National Commissioner, when I took the document to him, it actually came from Rabi to Sebola to the National Commissioner. And the National Commissioner said, no, he can sign it. It's operational. He didn't sign. Then from Sebola, she stood up, she walked to my PA and said, I'm printing you a document that you must just print. I'm sending a document to you that you must just print for the general to sign and send. That is why we have an email that comes from General Sebola containing the same email that the National Commission did not sign to my office to sign and send. So the fact that he didn't sign is not it does not necessarily only signal the fact that he said I didn't want to sign it because I didn't like the plan. No, the plan came from his office, the same plan. And I went to Sebola. And Sebola is the one who brought it to my office to say, print, sign, send. That's what we did. So the fact that it's not signed, he didn't sign it, it's not because of he was not in agreement. It's because he said, no, it's operational, you can sign. If he was not in agreement, again, why did it have to go downwards further? Should have ended there. And again, to say that, no, I said, leave it, I'll do it myself. The National Commissioner, firstly, is not that kind of a person that will say, no, stop, I'll do it myself. He's never done it like that. He would rather call you to discuss and say, hey, I don't think this is the way to go. I want us to put it this way or this way. Or he would still call Rabi, General Rabi, because the document was prepared by General Rabi anyway, not by myself. Now he would still call General Rabi and say, let us fix this thing. It has happened many times where we prepare a presentation on the CITs, on the cash in transit, where the National Commissioner doesn't agree with the plan. And I will call on everybody and I will leave us all in a room and say, guys, this is not what I want. Call me at 12 o'clock midnight when you are done. And he will leave us. We must now work and work it out here. There's nothing like, no, leave it, I'll do it myself. So whatever that we're dealing with is what comes from the Office of the National Commission.
Well, he said in his evidence that you must leave it. When you brought him the first draft, the 15th of January draft, he said, I will deal with it. Then on the 17th, you signed the same letter yourself without his signature. And we know also from his evidence that you've actually been charged with that in a disciplinary. So we're not going to discuss the disciplinary. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, what evidences the general's intentions is that on the 22nd, and this is at page 382 of General Masemola's affidavit, he writes a letter to the minister on the 22nd. Remember, he was told in this directive, submit a plan to me on the 20th of January. So he doesn't submit on the 20th of January, submits it on the 22nd, and he says, receipt of your unreferenced letter of 31 December 2024 is hereby acknowledged and the contents have been noted. Feedback is provided as follows. The filling of posts with crime intelligence, that's the first part of it. He says, the directive has been noted. Ports of entry, the contents of that paragraph is noted. And when in relation to the political killings task team, he said the contents of this paragraph be noted. He's further noted that a preliminary report has been requested by 20 January 25. The report is provided as follows. Then he gives the background to the task team, threat assessment overview, the current strength of the national task team, progress on the report of cases, the status of arrested suspects on politically related cases, breakdown of the role of the 388 suspects arrested, ad hoc case dockets, total convictions, feedback on major investigations. So this is a fully fledged report as I scroll toward the organogram. We also dealt with the Bordet case, case highlighted by critics of the task team. The following cases have been referred to in letters written to the minister, in which allegations have been leveled against the task team. He refers to some of those cases, including the Cato Manor case. He refers to the case of Sindisa Mukbaka, who I think that's referred to in this House's letter of complaint. And then, so it's a comprehensive report, cases of breakdown of cases before the court, 60 cases. And then he says that in conclusion that the South African the directive by the Minister of Police to disband the National Task Team has been noted. The initial objective and directive by the President has been achieved with a noticeable decrease of political-related killings in KwaZulu-Natal as a result of this National Task Team's intervention and the relentless pursuit of its mandate. The South African Police Service remains responsible for the finalization of those dockets in possession of the task team, as well as the finalization of dockets which are currently before the court. The following steps are being taken to wind down the task team without compromising pending investigations of court trusts. It refers to stakeholder engagement, the 115 case dockets which are currently pending to be retained by the National Task Team until finalization, the multidisciplinary investigative approach, analysis-led and prosecution-guided investigation applied by the National Task Team will be adopted and used to serve as a benchmark for the realignment of contract killings and organized crime investigation. Further directives will be issued in this regard. This is signed off by the National Commissioner on the 22nd. Now, you can obviously reference this or your legal team overnight, but this is not what you said. Whether it's on the 15th or the 17th, this is not the same thing. This is a complete contrast to what you said.
I agree, Chair. I do agree. But bear in mind, Chair, that document that the evidence leader just read was never sent to me at any given moment. I don't know about it. And in my case, I'm running with a document that was sent to me by the Office of the National Commissioner on the one hand. And if the National Commissioner on the other hand started another route between himself and General Kumalo, that route, that document is not what I was aware of. And you can confirm with all the communications, it was never sent to me. So I didn't know. At any given moment, I was never involved. Not informed. I ran with this, what I was running with as coming from the Office of the National Commissioner. And this is what I have. Nothing more.
Okay, but General Sibiya, we know from earlier questions, you confirmed that you knew very little, if anything, about the political killing task.
Yes.
For some reason, you said, even though legally, technically, You in charge of all these investigations, the detectives, you didn't know about it or aware of it. Now, you say you get an instruction from the National Commissioner's Office. That is what you're saying.
Yes.
So anything that comes from your office, if it comes from General Brigadier Letoko, it's an official communication. That's what all of you accept. So accepting that's the case on the 3rd of January. But now the National Commissioner himself returns to office on the 14th of January. You go and see him on the 15th of January with this draft, with requiring his signature, and he says, no, I'm not signing. Leave it. I'm going to deal with it myself. Surely that is withdrawing, at least impliedly withdrawing any instruction to you to proceed with any implementation plan. And just to round that off, we went this morning, we looked at your mandate, and read very well, it's very clear that in relation to matters that falls in your sphere of responsibility, you actually act for and on behalf of the National Commission, including matters like this. And then it goes on to say, except where the National Commissioner withdraws any instruction. So isn't this such a case where on the 15th he had actually told you, General Sibiya, please, maybe appreciate your efforts or whatever in doing this, but just leave it, I'll deal with it. And then on the 22nd, because the directive is from the minister, is to him, not to you or anyone else, he addresses the minister on the 22nd and gives what you now agree is a completely different view on what should happen with the political task.
I don't think, Council, because we did discuss this even earlier this morning, that the National Commissioner never ever said, leave it, I'll do it myself. It has never happened in any situation between me and him since I've been in office. And if that was the case, or that is indeed what happened, the simple basic question to ask is, how did it then leave the National Commissioner's Office on the 16th from General Sobola to me again? So there's no way that he said, leave it, I'll do it, and then go to my subordinate and then say he must draft a document that you send straight to the minister. And this must be supported by subsequent meetings. For an example, when you look at the 5th of March, I want us to refer to the 5th of March. If what is standing in that document that it was sent by the National Commissioner to the minister, but it is not what they are saying before Parliament on the 5th of March. There they say, no, the National Commissioner has received a directive from the minister to disband. There's been many meetings held in relation to that. And the political killing task team has achieved the purpose for which they were intended for. And this can be used as a benchmark. And we are quite comfortable that we are ready to then translate into the murder and robbery unit. That they will come up with an action plan and the docket will be taken to murder and robbery unit. That presentation is different from that letter that the evidence leader is talking about. That document that the evidence leader is talking about is completely different from what the National Commissioner and General Kumar presented in Parliament. In what they presented in Parliament, they were saying, yes.
Yes, we'll come to that. Let's just deal with one step at a time. Because now you say you weren't aware of the National Commissioner's report to the minister on the 22nd of January.
I haven't seen
He was required to report by the 20th. He reports on the 22nd.
I never saw it. I wasn't aware of it.
When did you become aware of it?
I became aware of it during the suspension. As I was challenging the suspension, it came from somewhere. It was the first time we saw it.
When would that have been?
Somewhere around mid-July.
So it must be your version that you weren't aware of it, because on the 4th of February, you write again to the Divisional Commissioner, Detective and Forensic Services. Again, the heading is deactivation and disbandment of the task team. And this is where you say, you refer to the minister's sorry, Honorable Chair, members. It's on page 70 and 71, General Sibiya, SB 8. And you deal with it on page 16.
Chair, where must I go? Page?
You deal with it from page 16, paragraph 40 of your statement.
Paragraph 60.
16, yeah. Paragraph 40.
Right.
And the annexure of the 4th of February is at page 70 and 71.
Now, can I proceed?
Yeah, so this is what you refer to the directive to immediately deactivate. The directive requires immediate compliance and appropriate measures to be undertaken to ensure the effective disbandment of the NTTPK in accordance with the current prescripts. In compliance with the above-mentioned directive of the Minister of Police, you are directed to engage with the Divisional Commissioner of Crime Intelligence with a view to do a proper handing over and follow all processes necessary to conduct a handover process. At 5.2, you say a case register wherein all the cases were recorded and current status of court-going cases and cases under investigation.
Just to take off where you left from paragraph 40, may I read paragraph 41?
Of course.
The National Commissioner participated in meetings that I have attended and supported the actions that were taken in relation to the disbandment of the PKTT, which processes have been detailed in my deactivation plan dated 17 January 2025, SB7, and which plan the National Commissioner has instructed me to sign. The National Commissioner never requested me to leave matters to him to deal with. I must indicate, honorable members, that I'm not able to access, I was not able to access the minutes of the meetings, subsequent meetings, because of I've been outside now, and the minutes were. But safe to say that in the National Commissioner statement that the Judicial Commission, paragraph 118, the National Commissioner says, in line with my discussion with Lieutenant General Sibiya, I also had a discussion with Lieutenant General Khumalo. I told him to prepare a report as contained in the Minister's Directive on the 31st of December 2024, and that we should aim for 20th January 2025 to submit this report. Since this was a direct instruction from me, it took precedence over Lieutenant General Sibiya's instruction of 17 January. Now, if the National Commissioner says he directed General Khumalo and his instructions took precedence over General Khumalo, over my document, this means that anything and everything going forward takes precedence based on the instruction of the National Commissioner. At Parliament, they present and they say, we are handing over. Siyavuma, we're handing over. and they handed and on this and they came up with an action plan. In the action plan, I want to refer to the action plan, page. Let's say page 79. When we get to the action plan, page 79, it is in a meeting on the 6th of March. We were together there, including the National Commissioner. And in this presentation, just to give the background, it says the Minister of Police issued a directive to the National Commissioner regarding the disbandment of the National Political Killing Task Team. Various meetings has been held and a detailed progress report submitted to the Minister of Police. The disestablishment and or disbandment will take a form of transition from NPKTT to component serious and violent crime, murder and robbery unit within Division Detective and Forensic Service. The transition will ensure continuity of cases, particularly those that are under investigation and those that are in court. This presentation will on the status of the investigation and of the investigations and the handover plan. Now, here the National Commissioner, in his answering affidavit in the High Court application, confirmed that he approved this implementation plan and that he had been drafted by Khumalo. Further, the National Commissioner mentioned in his statement to the committee that Lieutenant General Khumalo presented to the minister and that he, together with General Musigidi, were in favor of the plan, but General Sibiya and the Chief of Staff of the Minister were against. But what I want to say is that the National Commissioner indicates here that he approved this plan. And this plan, when you go to page 79, it says, it outlines the activities, the responsible person, and the due date. The activities, the first one being approval of the disbandment plan, Minister of Police 2025-03-06. Stakeholder engagement with NPA, including prioritization of the 114 cases, is National Commissioner. And the due date is 17th of March 2025. Approval of the new call-up instruction and Financial Authority 2025-2026 is National Commissioner on the 17th of March. And retaining the doggers under investigation to the KZN Eastern Cape is Project Manager, Divisional Commissioner, Detective and Forensics, and which means it is now the 17th of March. Provide progress to the Minister, National Commissioner and Deputy National Commissioner Crime Detection. It is now the 31st of March. Submit the final close-up report to the Minister on the 31st of March. Now, honorable members, the National Commissioner said this is the plan that I approved, that he approved. And this is the plan that hands over, retaining the dockets to murder and robbery, serious and violent crime. This is a plan that the National Commissioner approved. This is different from that letter that the evidence leader read, and that says, yes, General Sibiya, this presentation that was given by Lieutenant General Khumalo in Parliament on the 5th, and which was again repeated in your meeting with the Minister on the 6th, and again on the 27th of March, where General Masemola said Minister and Mr. Kabinde even got angry because they were opposed to it, speaks about a phasing out process, a transition process. If you look at your letter of the 4th of February, in fact, initially on the 17th of January, whether, let's forget about whether it was authorized or not. It talks about an immediate, that's what the minister said in his directive, shut the task team down immediately, disestablish it. What Khumalo talks about on the 4th of March, the 5th of March, again on the 27th of March, talks about a transition of the team. Here you ask on the 4th of February, you say,
Give me a status report and give me the dockets. Hand over the dockets. That's the difference, General Sibiya.
No,
And the National Commissioner's evidence was that he was in favor of this presentation. He was criticized for not telling the minister that your directive is unlawful or I don't agree with your directive. But ultimately, this is what he accepted and not what you said either on the 17th of January or the instructions you gave on the 4th of February.
yes. You see, when we say immediately, when they say disband immediately, it does not necessarily mean that close the shop now, leave everything and go. It's not what it says. We can read, we can go through this document that is drafted. Remember, it makes provision for handing, it says case over protocols. A comprehensive handing over protocol for an ongoing investigation must be established and implemented in consultation with the Divisional Commissioner for Detective Service. This protocol should include complete case files, evidence. Now, I want us to go to the previous paragraph that says accountability. Effective immediately, all investigative personnel of the of the task team responsible for case docket are directly accountable to the Divisional Commissioner and Forensic Service until they are reassigned to alternative units. This personnel will remain responsible for all investigations and resources allocated to them until a formal handing over is completed in accordance with the established protocol. Do you follow, Council? Now,
No,
this was not immediate. The same arrangement applies to crime intelligence and other personnel who will be accountable to the relevant divisional and provisional commissioners until the final arrangement are communicated. So which means, if I were to read this whole document into the record, stakeholder communications, all internal and external stakeholders must be notified in writing about the disbandment of the political killing task team, the transition plan for ongoing cases, and the future protocols. So, which means when you read that all these key words, they're not talking like now. They say this must happen, this must unfold, this must unfold. It's a process, but it starts today, or it starts now, immediately. So that is what I was referring to.
Let me read to you what you say in your statement, what you understood the minister to mean. You said this is on page 17 of your statement, paragraph 45. I understood the minister's directive to mean that the disbandment of the PKTT was to be given effect to immediately. As such, I communicated the directive to the team as per the instructions of the office of the NC.
Yes.
And we know from the NC, those were not his instructions.
No,
From the NC himself. You spoke about, okay, to be fair, from the office of the NC. Then you say at paragraph 46 in the last sentence.
Sorry, Chair. I want to say when the chair say when the evidence leader is saying those were not instructions from the NC. No, everything that I reacted to or responded to were from the Office of the National Commissioner.
Okay. Then, but we're dealing with what you understood.
Yes.
The minister's directive to mean. You said it means giving effect immediately. And this is what you communicated to the team. Then at paragraph 46, you say in the last sentence, the minister's directive did not say disband within 6 months or within a month. It said immediately, which means now.
Yes.
Now that's not what you're saying today.
No. I understand the technicality around that, but all I'm saying is that as much as we say, I didn't say they must start next month or in 6 months. I wanted them to start now. And when I say I wanted them to start now, I mean they must start the process now. And this is what happened. But above all, what then happened is what the National Commissioner wanted to see happening. The winding down. What does the winding down entail? The winding down or the phase-out approach is as per the approved plan by the National Commissioner. The one that the National Commissioner said, I approve, the one with the action plan that I just read, this one on page 79. This is what the National Commissioner approved, which is the winding down. That winding down is the one that gives effect to the docket being brought in on this date. Now, they brought the docket on the, it says on the 17th, but the handing over was done on the 28th of March. General Khumalo brought the docket to General Sintumul. On the 28th, they sat with a team to do a handing over. I was not there. And remember, the National Commission says his plan took precedence. We are now dealing with the precedence that the National Commissioner wanted to deliver the dockets to a specific unit by this date. This is what is happening. That was approved by the National Commissioner in his own statement. Now, on the 17th, they were brought, but on the 28th of March, they did a handing over. That handing over now brought the docket to General Sintumula so that they can be distributed to serious and violent crime. It is at the time when they were taken now to General Mkwanazi, who then said, I don't want those dockets in my province. Take them to General Sibiya's office. So in my case, I never even kept any docket gathered and dust in my office or locked any docket in my safe. I don't have a safe in my office nor any archive. I don't have. So it was just a simply misleading the nation to say General Sibiya withdrew the docket, they called for the docket, they are not being investigated, they are sitting in the office gathering dust. They never gathered dust in my office. They were taken, as per the plan of the National Commissioner, taken to where they were supposed to be taken up until the Provincial Commissioner said, I don't want them. Then the next logical thing was NESCOM, they did inform the National Commissioner and said, General, the PC says he doesn't want this docket. That's when he said, oh, well, let General Sibiya make a plan. Then we put a team together to make sure that these dockets are not delayed. But for that, we cannot put a team here from Gauteng to go to KZN in a place they don't know. And then without any budget, they need to be protected. They need accommodation. They need S&T. Now, we needed to have a budget application. That's when we applied for a budget. And we applied. We did mention even in the report that the PC says it doesn't want these dockets, but they must be investigated. And then we wrote, the National Commission never responded. Up until after I left, the National Commissioner wrote a letter that says, what are the dockets doing at head office? Some of these dockets must be taken to the stations where they belong as agreed. As agreed. Which means there was an agreement that they must be taken to those stations.
They must be taken back. That was the agreement. You had taken it away. According to your instructions, you wanted it back. And that was in line with your approach that the team must be disbanded immediately. This transition plan that Khumalo spoke about at several meetings, including before the police portfolio committee, was transitioning the team towards some end point. In fact, they say no new cases will be taken. In other words, they will continue with the existing dockets that they have until they complete their task. Your position was to end that task immediately. That's why you asked for the dockets to be taken back. How else would they continue, General Sibiya, with respect, with their task if you've ordered the dockets to be brought to head office in Pretoria?
Council, we are past that stage. We agreed that this docket, the National Commissioner produced an action plan. He said he approved this action plan. The National Commissioner said, I told General Khumalo to write a report. My report took precedence over General Sibiya's report. In other ways, anything and everything that happens after the National Commissioner said, my instruction as the National Commissioner took precedence, which means anything and everything going forward is the National Commissioner's instruction. Now, the National Commissioner, together with General Khumalo, they came up with an action plan. In this action plan, I was not present when they drafted this action plan that says we will have the dockets delivered to murder and robbery unit on this date. It came from the National Commissioner together with General Khumalo. They agreed. And this is what they're implementing. So whatever that is being implemented going forward is the National Commissioner.
Well, General Sibiya, can I just in relation to this issue, can I ask you to go to page 19 of the core bundle, which is the affidavit of Brigadier Kuneni in the search and seizure warrant application. Paragraph 31.
(19) of the core vital paragraph 31. Yes, I am there, Chair.
You got it?
I've got it, Chair.
Paragraph 31 reads as follows. Let's first go to paragraph 30. On the 26th of March, which you've already confirmed, 118 dockets from PKTT KZN delivered to the National Headquarters, Pretoria, in line with Sibiya's letter WK5. On 28 March, the Divisional Commissioner Detectives Forensic Services, Lieutenant General Ntumele, received the PKTT dockets. On the paragraph 30, on the 27th of March, Khumalo briefed Nchunu in Pretoria on his final disbandment of the PKTT. Nchunu rejected the plan, which was previously discussed and approved during the Cape Town meeting, which involved a phased-out approach at the meeting, as in paragraph 28 above. He stated that Nchunu that a political decision to establish the task him, therefore it will take a political decision to disband it. And this is what I want to ask you about. On 22 April 2025, Sibiya wrote a further letter to the National Divisional Commissioner Crime Intelligence and Forensic Services, referring to his previous correspondence. He emphasized that the deactivation and disbandment process should be finalized by Thursday, 24 April 2025. A copy of this letter is enclosed here to mark WK6. Now, unfortunately, we didn't receive any annexes to this affidavit. I don't know whether your lawyers, Mr. Levitt, nods no or shakes his head. And when I asked Minister Nchunu's lawyer, also they hadn't received the annexes. Do you have this letter of the 22nd of April 2025?
I wanted to confirm, to correct something before I proceed, because it's going to also go unchallenged, or I'm going to lose the point that I want to say. Can I respond on this thing on the paragraph 30?
Yeah.
Now, on the 27th of March 2025, Khumalo briefed Mqunu in Pretoria on the final disbandment plan of the PKTT. Mqunu rejected the plan, which was previously discussed and approved during the Cape Town meeting, which involved a phase-out approach, as mentioned in paragraph 28 above. He stated that it took a political decision to establish the PKT, therefore it will take a political decision. What I know is that the minister partially approved the plan. He was happy with the plan, except raising the concern that if you say to me, all the court dockets will remain with the political task team, and that they must remain with the political killing task team, it must continue to operate whilst winding down this docket. Now, the court dockets, since establishment, most of them were just finalized now after 10 years. Now, you are saying, do you want me to accept that you will then take another 5 to 10 years again on these dockets? That was the concern. Then he said, I want you to go and think deep and hard as to, do you really want to keep it like this? Because we are saying, if this thing can be taken to a unit that must investigate them, it can be done. But if you want to say, I must agree that it must take another 5 to 10 years again while this thing is running, that I will not accept. That is the point that I know. We can proceed to the council's question. I just wanted to register that thing. That remember, council, remember that the author of this statement was not part of any meeting. Kunene, he was never part of any meeting. So his statement that he writes here does not necessarily mean that is the gospel truth.
I think my question remains, James Sibiya. This letter of the 22nd of April, have you got it? 22nd of April 2025, which is referenced in this paragraph 31 of Brigadier Kunene's affidavit.
Yes, I have it, Chair.
So perhaps, maybe you can also respond to this. At page 423 of the National Commissioner's affidavit, there is a letter dated 23rd of April from Lieutenant General Khumalo, and it's also signed by Lieutenant General Sentumile, Divisional Commissioner, Detective and Forensic Services. If you, this letter is in your statement at SP 16, which is at page 221. You got it there, Jenny?
221 according, Chair.
Yeah, and yeah, it's from Khumalo and signed by Sentumile, and it's addressed to Divisional Commissioner, Detective Services Head Office. Is that to you?
Addressed from This is Divisional Commissioner Detective Service Head Office
handing over of dockets under investigation.
from Kumalo to Sintumule.
National Task Team investigating political related cases, KZN. This office hereby hands over the following under investigation dockets that were investigated by the National Task Team for political related cases in KZN. The under investigation dockets are categorized as follows. Dockets in the Eastern Cape in Tata, 2 cases there in Alice, 1 case. Total dockets under investigation handed over is 3. Handed over by Lieutenant General Kumalo.
I think the chair, evidence leader, you missed from 206.
So the question is whether this is a response to your letter of the 22nd of April 2025, which is not attached to the affidavit of Kuneni, and which I asked you whether you have a copy of your letter of the 22nd of April. What does that say?
No, this one of SB 16 and page 22, here we're talking about the Eastern Cape matters, the 3 matters, Namhla Mtwas matter. Now, the initial dockets that were brought when they did handing over, it was on page 206. This is the first 118 cases, plus these 3, that makes 121. So we ought to start during the handing over of dockets under investigation, National Task Team investigation related cases, KwaZulu-Natal. So now, this office hereby hands over the following under investigation dockets that were investigated by the National Task Team for political related cases in KwaZulu-Natal. The under investigation dockets are categorized as follows. Political related dockets are 56.
Are you referring now to SB 15 at page 206?
Yes.
These are all the dockets that are mentioned.
Yeah, this is where it all starts. This is where it all starts. These ones, they form part of this, but they came almost a month after, brought by General Kumalo. It was approximately a month, 3 cases that were received, because you can see it's dated the 23rd. And then the handing over of all these dockets were done on the 28th of March. As you can see in 220, page 220, you can see General Kumalo and General Sintumile, which are divisional commissioners, doing handing over to each other, assisted by the staff, as you can see, as mentioned, then there with the signatures. This is the team that even conducted an inspection in all the dockets as they were receiving them. And this is as per the plan of the National Commissioner and General Kumalo. And this is what they said, even in Parliament, that this is what we're going to do. And they are implementing it now. And this, you can see, General Sibiya appears nowhere. There are no dockets in my office gathering dust. I never even saw one docket, just one. I've never even seen it in front of me. They have never been to my floor or to my office. So I've never called for any docket to come to my office.
General, I asked you whether you have the letter of the 22nd of April. It would help if you have it, or if you could bring it along tomorrow.
There is it, sir.
So it's not annexed to the affidavit, and it's not part of our record. So can I have a look at it?
This letter.
That's the letter that Kuneni refers to in his affidavit, 22 April.
Well, it should be in a founding affidavit of Kunene.
Yeah, but it's not annexed. So I've just can you let that letter.
Can I be assisted to get to where I need to be? Yeah, this is the letter.
Thank you. Thank you, Andile. Thank you, General. This, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members, this is a letter dated 22 April 2025, which is referred to by Brigadier Kunene in his affidavit at paragraph 31. This is, I think this is a letter which you attached to your court papers. Looks like SS19,
Yes.
your court application.
SS19.
This is addressed by General Sibiya to the Divisional Commissioner of Crime Intelligence at Khumalo. The subheading Deactivation and Disbandment of the National Task Team on Political Killings. One, my evenly numbered correspondence dated 17 January 2025 and 4 February 25 respectively refer in compliance with the directive of the Minister of Police on 31 December 2024 and subsequent directives on the matter, you are advised that this process should be finalized by Thursday, 24 April 2025. This includes the transfer of all dockets, closed, currently under investigation, and in court, to the Division Detective and Forensic Services. A final feedback report on the finalization of this process, including confirmation that all task team members have reported back to their stations of origin, is awaited on or before Friday, 25 April 2025. Honorable Chair will copy this and make it available to you and to the honorable members of the committee. So that General Sibiya is pretty emphatic and pretty clear that the task team was going to be disbanded, dockets handed over, the team, those in the team must return to their stations. And of course, as you said earlier, this will go to the murder and robbery team squad, and they'll take over these matters. Now, do you agree with me, at least, that this is different from the implementation plan or the transition plan that Lieutenant General Khumalo presented to the Portfolio Committee on the 5th of March, to the senior management and the minister on the 6th of March, and again on the 27th of March? It's different. There it spoke about the team will continue, they'll be phased out over time, they'll retain what they have, and they'll complete the cases that they have. Here you saying, no, you're not going anywhere. I want you to return everything by the 24th of April or by the end of April.
Yes, I understand from that angle, Chair. To start with, as we were, remember I was running on this node that we have all agreed that it is happening. Now the docket have been handed over on the 28th. They are somewhere at head office, and I must say now these dockets must be where they must be, so that they are not gathering dust somewhere in the head office. They must be somewhere. They must have been processed already. That is where we were. Chair, I take your point and I agree that it will be different if ever the action plan says, because when you go to the action plan, you can see, I just want to refer to the action plan they were saying, because the action plan is talking up until the 31st of March, I think. I just want to check the action plan. Let's go to the action plan as we read from it. 79. Now, the action plan says to me, submit the final close-up report to the minister 250331. This action plan comes from there, is approved. Is the approved plan that says that it will come from, by the 31st of March, it says, submit the final close-up report to the minister, who project manager, divisional commissioner, detective service, and forensic. Now, if this is the case, and this letter is written dated 22nd March, 22nd March. It's dated 22nd of March. As far as I'm concerned, I am well within the right to say, now that you committed to the 31st of March, if one say by Thursday the 24th of April, let it be that this thing is being concluded. Whilst we understand at the same time that it might necessarily not mean that come the 27th or the 24th of April is completely done. But because of even on their own date, it was this, they gave themselves a date of the 31st of March. In my case, I say, okay, let's do it on the 24th of April, that now is settled. Here we're talking about the final report, close-up report. So that is why I say I feel that we're still within the plan. And the whole intention was really guided or pushed by the fact that we wanted to be effective, we wanted to make sure that we comply, and we wanted to make sure that we implement so that this thing doesn't take the next 5 years.
General Sibiya, there was a meeting still on the 27th of March where the rollout of this plan indicated that the task team would stay in place until they complete the work that they have, all the dockets that they have, 118, 121 dockets, and only then will it be phased out. That was the National Commissioner's plan all the time, as his instructions to you and to Khumalo. You again overrode those instructions on the 24th of April when you wrote the letter. And you said, I want you to close shop on the 24th of March, or the end of April.
Can I be shown, Chair, that instruction that says on the 27th of March there was a meeting?
That was we'll find the reference. That was the meeting where I'll read it back to you in the affidavit of General Masemola, where he says that both the minister and his chief of staff differed, and they even got angry because they also expected the task team to be disbanded then and there immediately.
Personally, I feel that, Chair, if I say something and I produce a document that I wrote and say, this is what I said, and here's a document. But I hear a lot where they say the National Commissioner said this, but there's nothing in writing in that regard. And of which I'm expected to accept that it is true. I don't have the correspondence that says there was this and I said this. I'm saying everything that I wrote is in writing. So can I be favored with this statement where the National Commissioner?
We'll get that part of the statement, but the plan that I'm referring to and which the National Commissioner has referred to is the one that was presented to the Portfolio Committee on the 5th of March. That one you've seen. You're familiar with that one?
No.
Where Kumalo addressed the Portfolio Committee.
I know about that one, but the plan that the council is talking about is the one of the 6th of March.
And the one of the 6th of March, the presentation, you were present in that meeting.
I was.
You were present in that meeting.
I was.
And it doesn't dare talk about closing down the task team or giving a date by which it must be closed down.
It talks about it. They say, okay, when you give an action plan, this action plan says,
Just give us for ease of reference, just give us the reference, the page or the annexure number.
page 79.
Sorry?
Page 79.
Page 79 of your bundle.
Of the bundle, main bundle.
Yes?
I'm quite sure.
That's the one you rely on.
Yes, I'm quite sure, Chair and honorable members, that just like honorable member, chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Police said, there was never any reluctance. Everybody was in agreement that this is the route to go and that we are taking that route of disbanding. There was never any objection. And then leading to the next meeting, the next day, that produced the action plan. The action plan produced or crafted by General Kumalo and himself, approved by the National Commissioner, which the minister supported, although with reservations on when it comes to court cases. But the minister partially approved. He said, I'm happy with the plan, but I'm concerned about 1, 2, 3. But the same plan, which was approved by the National Commissioner, of which the National Commissioner admitted that this is the plan that he was satisfied with. It says approval of disbandment plan by Minister of Police 06/03/2025. Now, if this is an official document that the National Commissioner says he approved, talking about approval of disbandment plan at 06/03/2025, stakeholder engagement with NPA, including prioritization of the 114 cases by the National Commissioner on the 17th of March, approval of the new call-up instructions and financial authority 2025-2026 by the National Commissioner on the 17th of March, retaining the case docket under investigation to the KZN Eastern Cape by the project manager, Divisional Commissioner Detective Forensics on the 17th of March, provide progress to the Minister, National Commissioner and Deputy National Commissioner Crime Detection on the 31st of March. Now, submit the final close-up report to the Minister is the 31st of March. In other words, When you submit a final close-up report, you can only close-up report, but submit a close-up report when you finally close the whole thing and say, I've closed and this is the report is done and dusted. This is the close-up report.
No, General
Senior
Sibiya.
Counsel, I want to declare a break. It's 19:30 now. The general has been here from 17:30. And I think we may need to give him a break. Unless you want to indicate something to me. We must not break here and you say, but in the next 5 minutes we would be done.
Definitely won't be finished in the next 5 minutes. Chair,
Yeah.
is it not possible that we can adjourn and continue in the morning? I'll probably be another hour and a half maximum.
Okay. No, yeah. Before I take the break,
Or can we have a shorter break?
yeah, let me hear what the honorable member.
Tea break of 15 minutes.
Honorable Ngola.
Chair, our experience suggests that on the day when members interact with the witness, it usually takes longer than the day when the evidence is led by the evidence leader. So we would suggest, Chair, that at least let's push to an extent that he finishes leading evidence today. Then tomorrow be reserved for members to interact with the witness. We can take a break, Chair, if he feels a little bit tired. Then we come back and conclude. At least it's 7:30.
Look, my plan was that I have observed the strain that the proceedings take on the members. And my plan was that from now onwards, we should start at 10 o'clock. So if we can't be done tonight, so it means the earlier part of the morning is going to be forfeited. So I'm summoning your endurance, honorable members. Let's break for 30 minutes. And then we will come back at no, we're breaking for 30 minutes.
Chair, you can't only hear Nola and nobody else. I'd like to speak.
I
please.
still want you to speak, Honorable Brady.
Yeah, I know you don't want me to speak, but I'm going to speak. No. So it's not only the members that you should consider, Chair.
Yeah.
Practice dictates that we should be fair. And the general has been here the whole day.
Yeah.
And he has to concentrate a lot harder than we do. And if he's tired, then that's it. So you shouldn't really ask us how we feel. You should ask him and his legal representative how they feel. And if we need to start tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock instead of at 9 o'clock, that's fine.
Yeah, I understand that this is your second day in the proceedings, Honorable Maitema. Honorable members, can we agree to Honorable Skosana?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I think you can ask the witness if really he wants to continue. If he wants to continue, we can. But tomorrow, 7 o'clock, I can't, Chair. Thank you.
Honorable Sols.
I think it will be very unfair in terms of consistency because we had the other witnesses not granted the same privilege. One witness, we sat here until midnight. So I think we shouldn't create a different impression, I would propose that we take a little break, we come back, we work and we finish, we come back tomorrow and it's just the members that questions. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah. Honorable Matthys.
Chair, I do think we should just ask the witness if he is able and willing to continue, and we can finish up tonight if he is. But us having had previous witnesses that pushed much later doesn't mean that it was the right thing to do during that time. And in hindsight, I think it is a progressive decision of the ad hoc committee members to say, let's check with the witnesses. It is much more taxing having to give testimony for such a long time. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. I'm not seeing any further hands, and there is a feeling that we must check with you, Honorable Sibiya. May I stretch you for the next 1 hour, 30 minutes?
Yes, I'm right. I'm ready. I'm still fit to proceed.
Okay. Honorable members, we are breaking for 30 minutes. We will come back at 8.
Sure, he's a general after all. He's used to such kind of things. He's a general after all. He's used to such kind of things.
His foot are on his own combat.
It's dinner, Chair. It's dinner anyway. 30 minutes for dinner. Thank you.
Yeah, dinner or no dinner, that one I can commit myself. What I'm saying is that we are breaking for 30 minutes.